Y'all, it's so weird trying to get used to being on video. As much time as I spend on video, teaching in my programs and holding space in sister circles, recorded videos feels strange to me. It feels strange to watch myself. And it's a big deal for me to not erase and to put it out there. I had meant in this past video to choose a card, and I'm going to do that now. It's a card for this new moon cycle representing for all of us. Okay, let's do one more. I like that card. Okay, perfect. All right, first thing that came up was fog and veiled. And what I am seeing is that the fog is being lifted. And we are going to have a lot of clarity about some big picture things, both within us, around us, in our lives, in our work. But we're going to be seeing more clearly that we have been a little bit blurry visioned because of everything going on around us in the world, in our communities. There's been a lot. There has been a lot of mirrors being held up in our own lives. There's been a lot of looking through the lens of judgment at others. And there's been a lot of wanting to refocus and find our grace in that, find our part of it where we can stand up and use our voice in a place that honors where we are in our heart and the change we'd like to see, instead of continuing to reflect shame and what we don't want to see going on. So I'm seeing a lot of this fog. What I'm feeling from this card is that this fog is going to be lifted, that the veil that's been over our eyes, that we've been seeing it through this lens of judgment and anger and outrage, is going to be lifted a bit so that we can see some big picture clarity. And we started to see this earlier in 2020 with everything around the coronavirus, that we're like, okay, I'm seeing the planet healing, I'm seeing time for family. Let's not lose sight of that. I'm seeing what it means to slow down, and there's different ways that we can learn and come together and help each other. So we don't want to lose sight of that. But there's more to it. And now with a lot of us learning and feeling very passionate about racial justice and social justice, and a lot of things that we're seeing around us that we're angered or outraged by, and we're learning more about, and we want to be part of the change and the difference, and of the healing, and of new policy that is more inclusive, and that our part in this is being revealed more and more, that we're going to be having more clarity in what that looks like in our own lives and how we can influence that change on a bigger level, on structural, institutional levels. And so I'm seeing a lot of clarity coming up. I mean, 2020 is about clarity, right? Isn't that what it means? 2020 vision. And this first half has really been about what fucking isn't aligned, what we don't want to see. And part of clarity is not just what we want, it's also knowing what we don't want, what we can't stand for, what we can't stay silent for. So clarity is what we want and we want to see, but also knowing what we don't want. And 2020 has brought a lot of that. And as we're figuring out how to keep ourselves and our family safe and healthy, and yet mentally and emotionally healthy and balanced as well, and we're looking at all these things, and we're seeing how we can rise up and use our voice, and we're getting more and more clear about all of that. We're just going to continue with that clear vision. And the more that we release, which was the other card, the more we create room for the abundance and the opportunities and the clarity and the insight into why we're here. What's our purpose? What's our part in this big picture and what we're seeing? and things that can be done in our own lives, in our homes, and then in our communities and globally beyond that. So that's what it means. That's the reading for this new moon. It's about seeing more clearly, about that fog being lifted, the veil being lifted, about seeing through different lens, seeing from a different perspective. As we release what doesn't serve us, we release what's misaligned, and we not only declare our intentions, but we put time, effort, and energy into making the things that we want to manifest, that we want to see in our life, a reality. So we really start aligning that on a mindset level, so importantly. And then also in our actions, in our speech, in how we show up. Just let it be reflected in all of it. Let the heart lead, get the mind on board, work on the mindset. But yeah, it's a time for clarity, so enjoy. I mean, that's what we all want, right? We all want clarity. Well, we've been getting more clear. You are getting really clear about what you don't want, and now it's time to get clear and intend and declare about what you do want. So I send this message. Thank you. Thank you, team. Thank you, angels. Thank you, Ezzy. Thank you all above. Thank you all here beside for letting me pass this message. And I'm glad that I'm getting over my damn self and my fear of this medium of speaking so that I can share these messages. And they may not always be the most eloquent. And that's okay. I have stuff to say. So here I am. I'm passing it along. From my team and your team and me to you. So much love and big hugs.